Testimony continues today in front of MPs looking into the investigation of Canada's deadliest mass shooting.
Two RCMP officials behind an accusation of political interference in the investigation of the April 2020 shooting rampage in Nova Scotia will be before the House of Commons committee today.
For a closer look at those proceedings, we're joined live this hour by CTV's Mike Couture. Mike, thanks for making time.
Thanks for having me.
So you've been listening into those hearings. We're listening to two people alleging political interference. So tell us more about who these two people are and what we've heard so far.
Yeah, so they just started, and it's very interesting because we are getting that sort of inside look right now into that infamous call on August, and one more time, April 28th, 2020, I should say. This is just 10 days after that shooting in Portapique, Nova Scotia. And the two people that we're hearing from right now are RCMP Chief Superintendent Darren Campbell and Leah Scanlon, who was a strategic communications officer with the RCMP there as well. And really sort of painting a picture beyond those notes that we had seen come out at the Mass Casualty Commission, where you had Campbell talk about that phone call with Brenda Lucki, the RCMP commissioner, where she seemingly, according to these two people, tried to exert pressure on them, and they are alleging political interference in trying to make sure that they publicize the type of weapons that were used by the shooter of the in Portapique, because they believe and they say that it was for political reasons tied to the upcoming gun legislation that the federal government wanted to pass. So we're getting a bit more of insight into that, into talking about that type of, particular phone call and that conference call, where you had Campbell say he left that phone call feeling deflated and disappointed, because essentially she had read them the Riot Act, saying that Lucki said that she had promised the Prime Minister and the Minister of Public Safety at the time that she would be able to give them that information.
So we're hearing what the Commissioner has said about this, but Ottawa has denied any interference. Are we expecting to get any reaction from the feds on this new testimony?
Yeah, not likely today unless there is some sort of a statement from the Public Safety Minister or the former Public Safety Minister, Bill Blair. The Prime Minister doesn't have any public events today, so we don't expect to hear from him. But all levels of government and all ministers in the government have essentially said that they did not have any political influence on this. They did not have any undue political pressure on Brenda Lucki, either the RCMP Commissioner. They simply were having these types of conversations and communications as per normal. Bill Blair had talked about this in the past and said at the time this was, and it continues to be, the largest mass casualty, the largest shooting in Canadian history, and that is why he was in close contact with Brenda Lucki at the time, looking for this type of information. But again, the members of the RCMP from Nova Scotia say that they felt that there was political pressure there to get that information, because they said that Lucki had said as much during that phone call, because it was going to be tied to new legislation on gun control that the Liberals were expected to present.
Okay, much more to follow on this story. We'll be watching this closely. Mike, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.